Well, the world is laughing at us, Pat. Yesterday, on just his fifth day in office, President Trump largely canceled out the efforts of President Obama and many environmentalists when he signed executive orders to revive construction of the Keystone XL and Dakota access pipelines. Also, executive orders to minimize environmental regulation of other infrastructure projects. Totally and utterly plutocratic, oligarchical, retrograde nonsense. And the debate around whether or not to build Keystone XL has been going on for years. President Obama rejected it in 2012 because of completely valid concerns about emissions and spills and disturbances of land and water resources. Here's Trump making a big deal out of signing this, like he's some kind of hero for doing this.
This is with regard to the construction of the Keystone pipeline, something that's been in dispute, and it's subject to a renegotiation of terms by us. We're going to renegotiate some of the terms, and if they'd like, we'll see if we can get that pipeline built. A lot of jobs, 28,000 jobs. Great construction jobs.
Yeah. By the way, how weird are these little videos when Trump invites in the media to narrate himself signing stuff? I mean, truly, just the ego is on display there. By the way, he talks about jobs. Construction of the pipeline would create some temporary construction jobs, but even the State Department says it would have no significant impact on long-term employment. Solar power plants, for example, they can employ people too. And we all remember the recent protests by the Standing Rock Indian Reservation and others in solidarity with them against the building of the Dakota access pipeline. It violates treaties with the federal government. It poses huge threats to the environment and archaeology. And then here is Trump signing another executive order to try to move forward with the Dakota access pipeline.
This is with respect to the construction of the Dakota access pipeline. Dakota access pipeline.
Yes.
Again, subject to terms and conditions to be negotiated by us.
Both projects were halted. Both may be on their way to completion now. Of course, Obama rejected the Keystone pipeline because it carried tar sands crude oil, which releases a particularly large amount of climate-changing greenhouse gases. We already know Trump thinks climate change is a hoax. And within hours of the inauguration, the Trump administration announced its plan to eliminate the U.S. Climate Action Plan. I referenced this a couple times. He has this thing called the America First Energy Plan. The world is laughing at us. Europe, countries like China and India, they're leading the world in new energy, renewable energy. We've got Rick Perry set to lead the Department of Energy. We've got the former CEO of Exxon set to be our Secretary of State, while Trump turns back the clock with American energy and wants a fast lane to destructive energy that won't even really create jobs.
And perhaps not surprisingly, there's a conflict of interest angle here too, because Donald Trump has a $1 million stake in Energy Transfer Partners, which is Dakota Access's parent company. He claims to have gotten rid of those stocks,
but who knows?
We don't know for sure.
We have no idea.
Also, their CEO donated $165,000 to his campaign.
Oh, yeah, there's a big quid pro quo going on there. China makes a pact to fight climate change with European nations at the World Economic Forum last week. Chinese President Xi Jinping says that the Paris Agreement is a milestone and that we must make sure it doesn't get derailed. India building the world's first large-scale, unsubsidized CO2 conversion unit, which saves 60,000 tons of CO2 per year. They've built the largest solar energy plant. We've got the EU bank investing billions a year to fight climate change. And the Trump administration wants to revive coal and build pipelines. We want to beat China, according to Trump. We want to win again. But Trump is pushing fossil fuel pipelines. Doesn't anybody realize that we are the past and China and India are the future on this? We are falling behind. Funny also that despite being against President Obama's use of executive actions, Donald Trump is going completely nuts with executive actions. I'm sure that's different, though. Let's take a break. Back after this.